What are you doing to my son? Jonathan Clark stood frozen in the bathroom doorway, his briefcase still in hand, staring at something that defied explanation. His son Ben, the child who screamed through the night from pain no doctor could stop, was sitting in a bathtub filled with water that glowed like liquid moonlight. And he was smiling. Actually smiling. The maid, Chloe Torres, stood beside the tub, her hands hovering over the water, palms down. She turned slowly, her face calm, almost expecting him. Saving him, she said simply. The briefcase hit the marble floor with a crack. Jonathan lunged forward, rage and terror coursing through him. His hands grabbed her arm. Get away from him. Daddy, no. Ben's voice, stronger than it had been in months, cut through everything. She makes it stop. The pain stops when she's here. Jonathan froze, his grip loosening. His son's words hung in the air like smoke. Get out, Jonathan said, voice shaking. Get out of my house. Now. Chloe looked at him with something that wasn't fear. It was worse, it was pity. Your wife asked me to come, she said quietly. Before she died. Then she walked out, water dripping from her hands, leaving Jonathan alone with his son and a bathtub full of impossible blue light that was already fading. Before we continue, I need you to do something. If you've ever made a decision you instantly regretted, one that changed everything, hit that subscribe button right now. Because what happens next will show you exactly why some choices can't be undone. Don't scroll past this. You'll regret it. That night, Ben wouldn't eat. Wouldn't sleep. Just sat by his window, small hands pressed against the glass, waiting for the woman who was already gone. Jonathan tried everything. He brought Ben's favorite foods. He read stories. He promised trips to Disneyland, new toys, anything. But his son just stared out that window, tears streaming silently down his pale cheeks. She made it stop hurting, Daddy, Ben whispered. Why did you make her leave? The words cut deeper than any blade. Jonathan had built an empire worth billions, but he couldn't stop his 7-year-old son from crying. He couldn't explain why he'd thrown out the only person who seemed to help. By day 3, Ben had stopped talking altogether. He barely moved. The light that had been in his eyes that night in the bathtub was completely gone. Jonathan stood in his study, whiskey in hand, staring at nothing. His phone kept ringing, board meetings, investors, emergencies that suddenly felt meaningless. His son was dying, and he'd just fired the one person who might have saved him. That's when he decided to search Catherine's old things. He needed answers. He needed to understand who Chloe Torres really was. The boxes were covered in dust. Jonathan hadn't opened them since Catherine's funeral 2 years ago. It hurt too much to see her handwriting, smell her perfume on old scarves, remember the life they'd planned together. But now he ripped through them desperately. Old nursing school textbooks. Medical journals. Research papers on autoimmune diseases. Catherine had been obsessed with finding natural treatments, alternative therapies. He'd always thought it was just a phase, something she'd grow out of once she focused on being a mother. Then he found it. The photograph was tucked inside a pharmacology textbook, marking a page about mineral therapy. His breath caught. Catherine, maybe 23 or 24, standing in front of Seattle University. Smiling wider than he'd ever seen her smile. And beside her, arm around Catherine's shoulders, was a younger, healthier version of Chloe Torres. They were wearing matching nursing student scrubs. Both holding coffee cups. Both laughing at something off camera. Jonathan flipped the photo over. Catherine's handwriting, unmistakable. Faith Abraham, class of 2014. My sister in everything but blood. The one who never gave up. Faith Abraham. Chloe Torres. The woman he'd just thrown out had been living under a false name. Why? Listen, if you're still watching without subscribing, you're making the same mistake Jonathan made, ignoring what's right in front of you. This story gets darker, and if you don't subscribe now, you'll lose track of it in your feed and you'll never know how it ends. Don't be like Jonathan. Don't let pride stop you from doing the right thing. Hit subscribe. 20 minutes later, Mrs. Chen's scream shattered the silence. Jonathan ran. He found the housekeeper at the front gate, phone shaking in her hand, staring at something on the ground. Chloe Faith, whatever her name was, lay unconscious on the pavement. Her skin had a gray, waxy quality. Her breathing was shallow, ragged. Blood trickled from her nose. "I heard a thud," Mrs. Chen stammered. "She was just walking away, and then she fell." Jonathan was already calling 911, already kneeling beside her, checking her pulse. It was weak. Too weak. "Stay with me," he said, not knowing why he cared, why his hands were shaking. "Don't you dare die. You owe me answers." Her eyes fluttered open. Unfocused. Glazed with pain. "Ben," she whispered. "Is he? He won't stop crying. He won't eat. What did you do to him?" "Loved him." Her voice cracked. "Like Catherine asked me to." Then her eyes rolled back and she went limp in his arms. The ambulance arrived 7 minutes later. Dr. Hayes, Jonathan's personal physician, arrived 3 minutes after that. What he said made Jonathan's blood run cold. "Mr. Clark, this woman is in end-stage organ failure. 4 months. Maybe 6 if she's lucky." Jonathan stood in the hospital hallway, watching through the window as nurses worked on Faith. Monitors beeped. Lines snaked into her arms. She looked so small in that bed, so fragile. Dr. Hayes pulled him aside, medical chart in hand. "Her kidneys are failing. Liver's compromised. This didn't happen overnight, Jonathan. She's been sick for years. Judging by these scans, she should have been dead already. Then how is she still alive?" Hayes shook his head. "I don't know. Her blood work shows traces of something I've never seen before. Some kind of mineral compound. It's the only thing keeping her organs functioning at all." Jonathan's mind raced back to the glowing water, Ben's peaceful face, Catherine's research on mineral therapy. Can you save her? Even with a transplant, her body's too weak. The question isn't can I save her, it's how has she survived this long? Faith's eyes opened. She turned her head slowly, saw Jonathan through the window. Even from here, he could see the resignation in her face. She'd known this was coming. She'd known she was dying. And she'd come to his house anyway. To help his son. Why? Jonathan sat beside her bed. The machines hummed. Faith's hand lay still on the white sheets, bruised from 4 needles. "Tell me everything," he said quietly. "Starting with your real name." "Faith Abraham." Her voice was barely above a whisper. "Catherine and I met first week of nursing school. She saved my life." "How?" "We both got diagnosed the same month. Same autoimmune disease. Doctors gave us the same speech: take the meds, manage the pain, hope for the best." Catherine refused to accept it. Faith's eyes closed, remembering. She became obsessed with alternative treatments. Ancient remedies. Mineral therapy. We tested everything on ourselves. Late nights in the lab, mixing compounds, trying combinations. It was dangerous. Stupid. But it worked. You both healed. Catherine healed completely. I couldn't afford to keep up with the treatments. The minerals, the supplements, they were expensive. I had a 4-year-old daughter to feed. I had to choose. Jonathan leaned forward. Daughter. Faith's face crumpled. Tears slipped down her cheeks. Naomi. She was beautiful. Smart. So full of life. But she got sick too. Inherited my condition. What happened to her? I sold everything trying to save her. Even sold my eggs to a fertility clinic. Got $8,000. She paused. Took a shaking breath. It wasn't enough. She died in my arms 4 months later. You know what's heartbreaking? Faith is telling this story to save Ben, and some of you are watching without subscribing. She gave up everything, her health, her future, even her identity, to save a child that wasn't legally hers. The least you can do is tap that subscribe button to see if her sacrifice was worth it. Do it now. For Faith. For Naomi. For every parent who's ever had to make an impossible choice. Jonathan's world tilted. You sold your eggs. When? February 2017. I was 23. Desperate. I would have sold my soul if it meant saving Naomi. His hands gripped the bed rail. What clinic? Seattle Reproductive Institute. Why does it? Faith stopped. Stared at him. Understanding dawned in her eyes. Oh God. No. Ben was conceived through IVF in August 2017. Catherine had complications. We needed a donor egg. Jonathan's voice shook. The clinic said they found a perfect match. They chose my eggs on purpose, Faith whispered. Catherine must have told them. She knew what I'd been through. She knew I needed the money. You're Ben's biological mother. The words hung between them like a bomb waiting to detonate. Catherine never told me, Faith said. Not until 3 days before she died. She sent me an email. Said Ben was showing symptoms. Said the disease had come through my genetics, not hers. She begged me to save him like I tried to save Naomi. Jonathan stood abruptly. Paced. His mind couldn't process it. So you came to my house under a fake name. To save our son before you lost him like I lost her. There's more, Faith said. Her voice hardened. Catherine didn't just get sick again randomly. She was murdered. Jonathan spun around. What? The email she sent me included files. Medical records. Financial documents. Your company, Ramirez Pharmaceuticals, stole her research. That's impossible. The patents are in your name, Jonathan. The mineral therapy treatments we developed? Your company turned them into synthetic drugs. Filed patents in 2016. Made billions. Jonathan felt sick. I didn't know. But someone did. Catherine threatened to go public. Said she'd expose the stolen research, the dangerous side effects of the synthetic version. 2 weeks later, she was dead. Faith pulled out her phone with trembling hands. Pulled up an email. Handed it to him. Jonathan read Catherine's words, dated 3 days before her death. They're increasing my medication. I told Dr. Hoffman I didn't need immunosuppressants anymore, but he insisted. Jonathan trusts him completely. I can't make Jonathan believe me. I'm getting sicker. If something happens to me, the proof is in the safety deposit box at First National. Box 2847. Code is Ben's birthday. Faith, please. Save our son. Don't let them kill him too. Jonathan's hands shook. Dr. Hoffman was his chief medical officer. His trusted friend for 15 years. Jonathan's phone rang. Unknown number. He almost didn't answer. Mr. Clark, this is Robert Petton, Catherine's father. We need to discuss our grandson's care. My lawyers are filing for emergency custody tomorrow morning. The line went dead. Jonathan stared at his phone. Catherine's parents, the Pettons, wealthy, connected, ruthless. They'd barely spoken to him since Catherine's death. Why now? They know, Faith whispered from the bed. They know I'm here. They know what Catherine told me. Catherine's parents wouldn't hurt their own daughter. Read the financial documents I sent you. Check who owns 51% of Ramirez Pharmaceuticals. Jonathan pulled out his laptop. Accessed the corporate records. Found the majority shareholder information. Petton Industries. Owned by Robert and Margaret Petton. His in-laws controlled his company. Had controlled it since 2016, the year before Ben was born. The year they stole Catherine's research. His phone buzzed again. A text from Dr. Hoffman. Jonathan, I'm concerned about Ben's welfare. I think we should discuss increasing his treatment protocol. Come to my office tomorrow, 9 a.m. Don't bring the woman. Faith grabbed his arm. Don't go. It's a trap. They're going to. The hospital room door burst open. 2 security guards stood in the doorway. Behind them, a woman in an expensive suit. Mr. Clark, I'm Sandra Morrison, attorney for Petton Industries. I have a court order removing you from medical decision-making for Faith Abraham. She's being transferred to a private facility immediately. You can't. We can. Ms. Abraham falsified her employment documents, endangered your child, and trespassed on your property. Our client is merely ensuring she receives proper care. Faith tried to sit up. They're going to kill me. Jonathan, don't let them. The guards moved forward. One grabbed Faith's 4 stand while the other began disconnecting monitors. Stop. Jonathan stepped between them and Faith's bed. She's not going anywhere. Morrison smiled coldly. Then we'll see you in court tomorrow. 9 a.m. Where we'll also be discussing Ben's custody. I have medical reports from Dr. Hoffman documenting your negligence as a father. Exposing a sick child to unlicensed medical practitioners. Allowing dangerous, unproven treatments. She handed him a thick envelope. You have 12 hours to decide, Mr. Clark. Sign over custody to the Pettons, and Ms. Abraham goes free. Refuse, and you lose everything. Your son. Your company. Your freedom. We both know I can't win against you in court. Morrison's smile widened. Then choose wisely. The clock is ticking. Look, I'm going to be real with you. Thousands of you are watching this right now, but only a handful have subscribed. That means most of you will never see part 2. You'll never know if Jonathan saves Faith. You'll never find out if Ben survives. You'll scroll past this tomorrow and forget it existed, and you'll spend the rest of your life wondering what happened. Don't be that person. Subscribe right now, it takes 2 seconds, and drop a comment telling me what Jonathan should do. Should he trust Faith or the Pettons? Your answer might just save his life. Part 2 drops tomorrow if we hit 1K likes. The conspiracy goes deeper than you think. Don't miss it.